Good morning. Happy Friday. I was going to do a ride-along video, but it's just too darn cold outside, too wet, and I need something better than a phone to shoot video with. So I thought I would share some details about this car I have here that I built in this garage. There's a lot of details about it. So let's see, where should I start off? I guess the engine, since it's the biggest thing. This is a small block Chevy 350 block. It's a aftermarket crank and rods. Like I said before in an earlier video, a lot of this stuff came from a race car. The crank and rods came from a racer that raced in the same lines, I think late model stuff. It's a 400 stroke crank made to fit in a 350 block, all forged internals, Wiseco pistons, the good parts to make it hold together. Will it hold enough boost as comparable to an LS? No, but I didn't want to go that route on this. This needs to have a traditional old style motor, whether it's, you know, Ford, Dodge, or Chevy. I'm a Chevy guy. But small block fits in it. You know, in the beginning I thought, first motor I put in it was a V8, was a 283. Well, you just get adjusted to the power and you always want more. So I started out with a little B&M blower, and I think that's where the monster was created. And then I went to this 671. This is I bought a bunch of blowers, 671s, from a person that was probably a diesel mechanic and had them from Jimmy Diesel's. Let's see. I just purchased a 2-inch spacer to give more separation from the motor. It's a spacer that goes on top of the intake, give it the separation, but more height. It's supposed to be better, lower temperatures of your intake. Let's see. It's a 5-speed T5 out of a Camaro. It probably wouldn't hold up to drag strip, you know, that kind of grip of traction. It would probably break something, I'm sure. And to say the quick change probably the same. I know that they're designed for racing, but they're not really designed for that sticky track, you know, that hard launches where there's no spinning. But I didn't build this car to be going down any kind of drag strips. You know, it's just, I started as just a hot rod and it kind of got out of hand. So this is a 4-door Model T 27-ish. I want to say 27-ish because it could be a 26 also. 27 or 26. It was a 4-door. Chopped you know, the back doors off. Actually, the only thing that is Model T is the cowl and the back half. The doors are homemade. Most of the car is homemade. Frame is just all rec tube, 2x4 rec tube. Front end is a suicide axle front end. Leaf spring inside the cross member. Radius arms with wishbone parts. Just one pivot point here. 4-link in the back. The suspension in the back, and I'll take you around with a camera, but the suspension in the back has, they're called quarter leafs, and so they're leaf springs that you can buy that are cut in basically in half, and they run inside the frame toward the back. So that allows me to hide the suspension. I wanted to hide it all so that the only thing that you're looking at is the back of the quick change, because I personally didn't like the way that I guess you could say a bobber roadster like this. I call it a bobber because there's no back half. The rear end is just exposed, and I don't like the buggy style look of the rear end in the back, or suspension in the back with the rear end. for me personally, I just don't like the looks of it, so I changed that. I'd say the ratio is about somewhere around a 412 or a 411. And if you know anything about quick changes, you can change that in 15 minutes. So, and your ranges of gear ratio are wide open. I want to say with the T5, in fifth gear, I can be going down the highway, you know, at 70, somewhere around 2,700 RPM. So it's, you know, it's a really very drivable gear ratio with that overdrive fifth gear. It has alcohol injection in the front. So under boost, I have a little tank in the front. It's through a module that detects boost, plugged into a vacuum port, and it'll detect boost, and whatever you want it to come in, the pump to turn on, it'll turn on, and then it feeds alcohol or methanol and water from the tank through the pumps and up and into a solenoid to keep it from bleeding back, and then in through jets on the back and the front. What else? MSD ignition system, BTM box. You really need those for blower application. I mean, I think you do, rather than having some kind of a modified distributor that you're locking out your total advance. It's not very streetable, in my opinion, to have a distributor that you have locked out. You know, some racing applications where they just lock our distributor out at, you know, full advance. So then, you know, you're running your total advance all the time. Racing quick change race hubs came off of a car that I donated to this project. Aluminum heads made by ProMax. And by the way, it's not a really big camshaft. It sounds pretty good, but it's the biggest stage hydraulic flat tappet camshaft that you can run with single springs. So I can't remember the lift. It was around 550 or something, and the split is what's considered for blowers, I guess. There's need to be a certain split of, so you can optimize that supercharged system there. I should take you around the car here so I can explain better and the things that I'm talking about and show you different things on it. Okay, so I made locking plates. Made these little locking plates for all the pivot points on my suspension system. Oh, something I built previous year or two, I can't remember, was there's always a problem with that high thing sticking up in the windshield, the blower and the intake scoop. So I was having difficulty seeing around it and seeing if there was another way to deal with it. So I had built this plexiglass scoop here. Actually not plexiglass, Lexan. And it went on the top, took the place of that, and you don't run any air cleaners with it. The issue that I had with it wasn't, I mean, everything, it worked good. It didn't fly off. It didn't, you know, it stayed on. Everything was good like that. But I didn't like the look of it. That, I believe, looked so much better. So it came off. Some things that do bother me about the car is there is no safety in this car at all. There's no seat belts, there's no roll cage, there's nothing. So that kind of, I don't know. Someday I'm gonna do something about that. Hopefully it's not too late, but I don't know how to put a cage in it and have it look right. I'm pondering on how to make that happen, and I personally, it's weird to say, but I don't like roadsters. I would rather have a roof over my head. With no safety issues being said, that guy keeps losing his cross. It keeps falling out of his hand. So here is the methanol. That's the methanol tank. Comes out of there. There's two lines just because there's two holes. So I ran two into one line. Runs in through this pump here. Here's the pump here. A little filter here. I'm still running a mechanical fuel pump, high output fuel pump, but like I said, I haven't ran this all out in all the gears, so I probably would run out of fuel, but I haven't been brave enough to take it to that extreme. So carbs that I'm using are Edelbrock carbs. I've been thinking about switching to Hollies. It's just the expensive Hollies. I mean, I don't know. They're just quite a bit more money. So something I probably will do, but I just haven't done yet. And it runs fine with these. Nice cheater type slicks. These aren't Hoosiers. I lettered those Hoosier letters myself. Tire company that makes those is Tall City. Made the wing for the back. One of the most difficult things I had, this is a gas tank in front of the rear end here, and it runs across both sides, was fueling it up. You imagine getting a gas fill in that? It was like too challenging. So, and I did it for like, I don't know, a couple years. So finally I said, I need to put a fill and fill hose. So there's some gasoline approved race hose there. Nice Sparco fill, gas fill. The wing I made. I will say that all the aluminum sheet metal work that I have done is by myself on a Harbor Freight hand crank bead roller. So it can be done. It does look okay. I would like to improve on that though. Franklin quick change. I don't remember this thing that I built here. I forgot what I call that. Shocks there. You can see quarter leafs, right? There's right there running down inside the frame there. Willwood calipers, all four corners. And more stuff from the race car. 4-piston. Let's see this side. The exhaust is those super traps are straight off of a sprint car. The exhaust is like 55 Chevy fender well headers. Steering system is a reverse Corvair. Mounted inside underneath the inside the firewall. Made this blister so it comes out here. Made this little fancy little arm here to kind of match. Yeah. Radiator reservoir with overflow below it. Willwood clutch and brakes. People always ask me, why 3 reservoirs front brakes, back brakes, and clutch. I think I pretty much see that all the time on a lot of the dirt track late models that I was seeing on racing though. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. Oh, this front end is a 40 axle, 1940 straight axle out of a, I'm thinking I was out of a car. It was actually narrowed by a guy, and I didn't. It freaked me out at being narrowed. It was narrowed right here. So I made this really thick steel gusset, welded the snot out of it in the back, on the sides, on the bottom, on the back side here in the back. It just gave me a little more peace of mind, that's all. Yeah, that's about it. I need to dress up underneath there, get my brake lines and some wiring tied up. Yeah, a lot of stopping power with those big calipers on there. So what I would like to do, my future project for this, what I want to do, because I never stopped doing stuff, but to it, is redo the interior. I want to tear out all that floor, probably build a better, stronger support system in the floor. I mean, the sub rails and stuff are old, and I would like to redo all that and give myself more room for my foot on the gas pedal. There's just not enough room there. So I would also like to show you my ideas and plans, because come the beginning of the new year I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands, so I would like to discuss what I would like to do on the channel. Of course, one of my main responsibilities I would like to make for myself is getting a big finish part done with my shop. So let me take you around back to some of my other stuff, because bear with me, I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I have a lot of stuff, so, and I'm not real organized, so gasser project there. So this is a car that I would like to do something with, and some of you might look at it and say it looks like a smaller 46 Ford. It's not. It's actually a mid-60s Volvo. So I think they call them a P544 or something like that. I would like to take, and I've been doing a lot of research, take this body, make my own chassis, and build an all-wheel drive hot rod. You know, I don't want to say it'd be like a Hoonigan Ken Block type of a car, but that's more what I'm thinking of than anything else. I want tires, wheels and stuff to stick, you know, way out, front and back. I've been researching all-wheel drive transfer cases, and you know, what's my options. I want to keep it a manual. What kind of engine to put in it? Yes, V8. So that's about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but that's kind of my ideas for this. It's a pretty cool looking little car. It's just small. It's kind of got a grill. It reminds me of a 1970 Chevy grill. Camaro, I mean.
So, yeah, that's about it. All right, have a good Friday.